Welcome back, everybody. We have a brand new episode of 5 Minute Majors. I'm your host, Derek Harper. Let's dive right into it. The Portland Winterhawks entering Wednesday night's Game 4 trailed 3 games to 0 to the Moose Jaw Warriors after a heartbreaking loss in Game 3 in overtime. It's not impossible. The Kelowna Rockets have came back from down 3-0 against the Seattle Thunderbirds in a previous playoff series. So we'll see what happens with this. The Winterhawks just have to take it one game at a time. It's going to be tough because there are insane players on both sides. Tuesday night's thriller, was a very physical, chippy matchup. Um, it will be a series for the ages, no matter who wins it. Moose Jaw also has had a couple of players of the week, including the rookie of the week. You can see more of those details in my story. But out in the other leagues, we have the London Knights. They are going into Wednesday. They were up 3-0 on the Oshawa Generals in the OHL Championship Series. A reminder with that league, the host Saginaw Spirit will be in the Memorial Cup, obviously. They made it to their conference finals. So it should be a very competitive Memorial Cup, no matter who makes it from the OHL and WHL. Because on the other side of things, interestingly enough, the number one seeded team for most of the season, with the exception to a few weeks where the Saskatoon Blades were sitting up front, the Baie-Comeau Drakkar have been upset. And not just upset, but swept. Yeah. The Drummondville Voltigeurs took care of the Drakkar in 4 consecutive games. Not sure many people saw that coming, but we've seen upsets in the past with Halifax getting beat before. That's always been a really good franchise. Kind of a lot of upsets this year, though. The Saskatoon Blades, they went down in their home building in Game 7 to the Moose Jaw Warriors. I think a big factor of this series with the Moose Jaw Warriors, of that series, this current series, when the Wenatchee Wild were having to kind of restock their cupboards with draft picks, they had to send obviously Connor Geekie away, Matthew Savoy, Geekie going to the Swift Current Broncos, and then Matthew Savoy to the Moose Jaw Warriors. The Warriors also have Jagger Furcus, who's a Seattle Kraken prospect. Savoy, obviously, an NHL prospect as well. So the talent is there. When Moose Jaw was able to kind of load up and get Savoy, and they have Furcus and kind of build up with the moves that they made around the middle of the season, they were able to really find a lineup that is a contending lineup that could get past the best of the best. And we've seen that with this series so far. So it'll be interesting to see how far they go if they do indeed defeat the Portland Winterhawks. As for the Winterhawks, this was their first trip to the league championship series in a decade. 2014 was their last one when they fell to the Edmonton Oil Kings in 7 games. We'll see if Portland can push it to 7 games. These 3 games, games 3, 4, and 5, if necessary, were or are in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan at the Moose Jaw Event Center. Games 6 and 7 will be back in Portland if necessary. Now in the OHL with London, obviously that looks like a sweep, but so does Moose Jaw. I don't know what we'll see with the Moose Jaw Warriors and the Portland Winterhawks. But the OHL, I feel, is like maybe more tilted. I feel like the London Knights see the Memorial Cup more often. And I feel like they see success more often. Oshawa, obviously, a very great franchise. They've won their league a few times. So we'll see what happens. If Moose Jaw wins this series with the Winterhawks, however, it would be their first league title. So we'll see what happens there. Moose Jaw has not seen much success in the past before, but they're seemingly finding it in this playoff run and in their late part of the regular season earlier this year. So that is that. A lot of key players to watch there. Matthew Savoy, Nate Danielson of the Portland Winterhawks. For Danielson, if Portland can come back and win the championship series somehow in 4 straight, I mean, it's happened. We've seen crazier stuff happen. The Nashville Predators, their AHL affiliate this year, won 19 in a row. And then Nashville this year won about, I believe it was 8 consecutive games. So we'll see what happens there. It's certainly possible. It's going to be a tall order for the Winterhawks, especially with an injury to one of their top players. But for Nate Danielson, it would be special if they were able to come back because he is a Detroit Red Wings prospect. And the Memorial Cup is in Michigan. And so it's about an hour 40 north of Detroit. So Wings fans would be able to see that. The Red Wings would probably have employees up there watching him. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep you updated next week on the results of the OHL and WHL Championship Series. And we will dive into the Memorial Cup itself further at that time.